Hey everybody, welcome to Watch Talk Live. Looking out in the audience, we got Vic and Kenny and Rico. Thanks for stopping by. So tonight we've got another great collector and YouTube content creator, Facebook, couple groups there. Does a lot of watch videos, battery changes, sizes, reviews, all sorts of stuff. Has a great collection, and with that, let me bring in Tommy Big Time. Hey
Hey,
Tommy,
what's up? How you
what's going
doing?
on, man?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the show for a little bit. So I'll just kind of let you. Well, let me do this. I'm going to show everybody. So we've got this is Tommy's YouTube page. If anybody's looking to find him on YouTube, um, so we'll go with that. But yeah, um, kind of just give everybody like a quick breakdown. Kind of how you started and things like that. I'm sure probably your big time gang probably knows the stories, but for anybody that may not have, you know.
Definitely. So, do you want to know how I started YouTube or how I started collecting Invicta, or what would you like
Let's
to start with?
go. Which one? I'm assuming you did watches first and then YouTube.
Definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
so
So, I've
my
been a
normal question is who or what got you interested in watches in general? Not necessarily Invicta, but just
so
watches.
watches in general was very young. So, I'd say third grade,
Okay.
somewhere around there. The Casio with the calculator.
Yep,
That
I
was like my
remember.
grail at that time. And I can't remember how much it cost, but I know it was way too expensive for my family. So I bugged for that watch for probably about a year, and I got it.
Right.
And when I got it, I mean, that thing never left my wrist. So it started with that. And then maybe like junior high, I started buying Freestyle. I don't know if you've ever heard of that brand. It was a diving watch.
Oh, okay.
This would be maybe early 90s, late 80s.
Okay.
And love the watch. Um, got a couple of those. One of my buddies worked at the factory and gave me little discount deals. And so
Hmm.
I was into those. And then I collected, the fossils and the diesels and all that kind of stuff. Um,
Right.
all the way up to I'd say about 10 years ago. And
Okay.
then about 10 years ago, my buddy that I lived with at the time was my roommate, uh, was wearing a Russian diver, Akula, Russian diver Akula, like limited edition, and it had the
Hmm.
big canteen on it. And
Yeah.
I've always been into bigger size watches because I'm not a small guy.
Hmm.
And I feel like, 42 millimeters just looks tiny on my wrist, and I don't like the way it looks. So I fell in love with it with a 52 millimeter Russian diver. Like, what is that on your wrist? And he's like, it's Invicta. And I never had heard of Invicta.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, wow. So I started digging through the internet that night. Went on there. I bought my 45 millimeter specialty. Was my first watch I ever bought
Okay.
from Invicta. And then it was hooked ever since.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it just carried on. It was one watch after another. And then I don't know how long ago, maybe 6 ago, I started watching Evine,
Yep.
and that had me super hooked.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that drew me in quick. I don't watch it that much anymore because the temptation is too great.
Yeah.
You see a watch on there and you see that 6 payment plan and a great deal, and it's like, oh, I gotta get it. But so I stay away. If you haven't noticed, I'm not in the chats as much as I used to be.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
I can appreciate that because yeah, you can put yourself in value pay jail really quick. I mean,
yeah.
it can happen really fast.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
but I know you also have like I've seen a lot of your Aragons. Is there any other like of the any other brand, sorry, that you kind of gravitate towards? I mean, I know you like bigger, so I know back in the day Diesel used to be big size and everything, or
Yeah.
whatever.
So Diesel was definitely my number one because they were huge.
Right.
But they were like a couple ounces, and the bracelets came small. I mean, some of them would barely fit my wrist,
Oh,
where
okay.
there wasn't even no sizing needed. It came from the factory, barely could fit me.
Wow.
And when I started collecting Invicta, and I found out that you could trade on Facebook, that was probably a good 5 years ago, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
right away I started trading on my diesels to get Invictus.
Right.
I got rid of my diesels, my fossils, and all I have now is Aragon and Invicta. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I got one guest watch that my sister got me for a gift about 8 years ago, and of
Right.
course I'm going to keep that.
Oh
I've
yeah.
got one. I've got one Kenneth Cole that's like 10 years old. That's all worn out that I keep just because it's like a keepsake because I had it for so long. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got an old. I mean, of the watches, I started fairly young and like to play with them and tinker with them, and I think I've got I think it's called a Fossil Blue, and
Okay,
it was funny because it was one of the first watches when my wife and I were dating. Uh, Bought it at the mall, so we bought like the same two colorations, and so yeah, I have a couple of those, and a
nice.
Kenneth, and I've got a couple Citizen and everything. But so I know that obviously, Grand Octane arsenals
Yeah.
are big, but and I know you've kind of starting to rotate and everything. If you were gonna say, what is my go-to watch, what would it be now?
For me right now, if I had to only have one watch, oh God, that's
Well,
tough.
not just one watch, but like a series. Like, oh, I'm
One
gonna
series.
gravitate towards a Zeus or a SAS or Sub 3 or something along those lines.
I would have to go with the I think the Chaos.
Yeah,
That's honestly one of my favorites right now.
yeah,
The fitment, the size, the comfort level. That's definitely one of my favorites right now.
yeah. I
I
love
have
the bracelet design and the taper and the open link design. Yeah,
the original Chaos, yeah, because like the newer ones, I'm not that big of a fan of. It's the original ones with that. I don't even have one right here, but yeah, that's definitely my
okay,
favorite.
yeah. All
I
right,
think I have 7 of them right now, so I haven't got too many.
yeah,
So I'm kind of trying to be picky. I'm trying to
yeah.
be a lot pickier nowadays. So
Oh yeah.
I'm not just buying every color. I want something to kind of unique. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got myself in trouble probably 2018 of the whole squirrel. Oh, watch, like
Yeah.
all over the
Exactly.
place. And yeah, it got
Yeah.
pretty bad, but yeah, I've gotten a lot more selective and slowed down. So, all right, but with that, what's on deck? What are we going to take a look at tonight?
I've got my heritage collection because I saw your video. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what live it was, but you had like, what do you have? 8 heritage watches?
Um, I have 11.
Oh wow, even more than I thought. So I have 4,
Okay.
but I love these things. They're beautiful watches. So that's what I was gonna show. I have them on my little display stand.
Okay.
You can see right there. But so I've got my Sobako special I actually wore today. Oh, wrong way.
Yep.
Got that platinum mother of pearl, rose gold,
Yes.
and high polished stainless steel.
Yeah.
Beautiful watch.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
Kyle's
go ahead.
asking, is that a Tria or is that just a regular Zeus that you're wearing
On
right
my
now?
wrist,
Yeah.
it's a tria.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's the gold Tria with black mother of pearl.
rose gold. Yes, sir.
Oh, rose gold. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a nice one.
yeah. I love this watch. The gunmetal that they put with the rose gold just makes it
Mhm.
perfect. And then
Yeah.
that black mother of pearl just adds that extra, oh, a
Yeah.
whole nother level.
Yeah.
And by far, mother of pearl is my favorite. I had abalone. I traded them off to the other watches, and mother of pearl is like the one that I have to have. If it's something comes out in mother of pearl, I want it. And then this one is the Russian diver
Yep.
heritage, Swiss made.
Yep.
Love this one.
Mhm. Yeah, the silver with
And
the black and the yep.
yeah, the black mother of pearl.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I've
Quick
got
one on that. Mother of pearl. What would be your go-to mother of pearl? Black,
color.
white, platinum.
Ooh, I love the platinum and the black, so it'd be either or.
Okay.
If I had
Yeah,
to pick one, I think I'd go black.
yeah, I'm kind of the same. I really love the platinum. Black would be second. I will say, and I bought that. What was it? The double open heart because it had like that yellow. It was like a cream colored. mother of pearl, and I
Okay.
hadn't seen it before. That was
Yeah.
probably the only reason, because the movement isn't exactly my most
Like
favorite.
this one here, that's a white mother of pearl.
Yes.
And that's rose gold and stainless steel.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Brian's wanting to know, when did you start collecting? So I'm assuming he's talking about Invicta.
So really collecting, I'd say maybe about 8 years ago. When I bought my first one was probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
But I really got deep into it. The last 6, 8 years, it's been gung ho. Where
Yeah.
before it was I'd buy one like once or twice a year,
Right.
and then the addiction just slowly snowballed to what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know the feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We can
Yeah.
all relate to that one.
And then last but not least, my favorite out of my heritage.
The
I know
hybrid.
you have this one.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing about this watch that I thought I was getting something totally different was I thought the dial was white. So I mean, even right now, when I hold it up, it looks white, right?
Yeah.
But it's stainless steel.
But yeah, it's
Not white.
it's the alloy. Yeah.
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 Oh, it's alloy, okay. But it looks completely white in every picture you see.
Yeah.
Then when I got it, I was like, oh, okay, it's not as bright white as it looks, but
Yeah.
I still love the watch.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's not, because I've got well, let me see if I can get it. So I've got the Arctic white, and once you kind of see that, then you can kind of tell a difference. But yeah, the only reason I knew it was that is because when it came out and we were on the 2020 cruise, was 2020, and Ryan actually had me on air and let me hold it and look at it, and that's how I was like, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, I thought it was
It's not
white,
white.
but
Yeah.
it's not. It's like this silver kind of off color. Yeah, it kind of threw me too. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
but
I still
I
love it.
agree.
But
I love the watch still, but
yeah. That was
yeah,
one that I got just recently. I think I got it a few months back, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. I had to get it. And
yeah,
one of the collectors in my group had it for sale, and I jumped on it. I was like, give me a week. I'm going to sell some watches. I'll get it. So, yeah, I got it right away.
yeah, yeah. Heritage are getting harder and harder. I mean, they have upped the number from 300 to 500, but even that, 500 is still not a lot, and
Yeah.
they're not easy to come by.
Well, one thing I noticed is I have the sub 6 pave dial or pave dial, however you're supposed to say that. Which is the right way to pronounce that? Pave?
Usually pave.
Yeah, okay. So the pave dial, I have the original one with the SW200 in it. And I noticed they just came out again and they have the NH35 in it. So it was a limited edition. They changed the movement and relaunched it again, and now they got a lot more colors too. Where
Hmm.
they got the black and the I think I seen rose gold, all stainless. Where I think before it only came out in the two tone, and I can't even picture another color. The one I have is a two tone, yellow gold and stainless steel. But
Yeah, I just had I picked up something. I picked up the one that was two tone, but it still had the SW 200 in it.
yeah,
Um, and then yeah, then they re-released within like not even 2 months, and then that's when they came back with the NH35, and then they had three colors. They had the silver, two tone, and I think it was a black or something like
yeah,
that.
all black.
Yeah,
All
but I
black
was
looks
like,
killer.
yeah, I love the look out of it. I, personally, I was a bit disappointed that they
Exactly.
dropped down to a
Me too.
35, but you
Me
know,
too.
I've got
'Cause
mine, so
there was one of those. The one of the black ones was on one of the raffles, and I didn't bid on it. I thought about it, but it's an NH35. I mean, nothing wrong with the NH35, but I just
no,
feel like
no,
the
yeah,
originals, the SW200, which is another level up, and so I
okay,
didn't bid on it. I just let it go.
yeah, yeah, and that so Pappy brings up he says he only has one heritage Swiss made, um, which kind of brings up a subject that I know I've been, and I'm sure you've probably looked at it too, is when they went from Swiss made to Swiss movement.
Hmm.
That that really that really kind of bugged me a bit. Um, and I talked to a few people behind the scenes about it, and it's like, well, they're trying to keep the price down and all of that. But you throw 3 carats of diamonds on something. I would rather you take all the diamonds off, give me a heritage, which to me should be a, a premier piece in my
Yes,
opinion. Because of
I,
everything that's behind it. You've got a Swiss made watch, Swiss movement. You've got the signatures on the back. It's very distinct in how it looks. Um,
definitely.
but apparently that's not the direction they're going to go. And then they bring out the AL Alo collection, which basically it's almost the same watches, but they're going with um, the quartz movements. I've seen an 8040N and something else, but it's only Swiss movement. So it's like, why are you having two different lines of AL Alo? Like you've got Heritage over here, and then you got AL Collection. Like, but you know,
Yeah,
anyway,
no, I agree.
yeah,
So like this one here, I bought this one under the impression I was getting a Swiss made Bull Zeus. And then when it arrived and it said Swiss Move It, yeah, I was definitely upset. I mean, I'm not one of those collectors that has to have it Swiss made. I mean, it matters a little bit, but not too much to me.
right.
But
No, I
when
agree.
I'm buying a watch that in the picture says Swiss made, then it comes to my house and it's Swiss movement, yeah, that upset me a little bit. But the price I paid for this was like dirt cheap. So and it
Yeah.
was brand new.
So I remember. I actually have it. It's kind of funny. I have that same one in the two tone.
Okay.
And so when they first put it out, I think it was the first run of like, I think they usually run them in like 150, 200 batch at a time, roughly.
Okay.
So the first batch was before the Rona hit, don't want to say that word.
Yeah.
Um, and it was still Swiss made. So there's actually that model number has the first half of the collection actually is a Swiss made, and then the back half when they redid it about a 6 months or so later, everything had shut down and all they could do was Swiss movement. So
So that's what happened. Okay. Well, that
that
makes
and
a little
that's
more sense.
why the pictures on their website showed Swiss made because they still had the stock photos against the new watch.
That makes a lot more sense. That's kind of good that you're explaining that because I had no idea.
Yeah,
But
that
when I posted the picture after I got it and I did my, my first time on the wrist, somebody actually posted their picture in the comments on Facebook and said, I got the same watch, but mine says Swiss made. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Kimon, I agree. And I like I say, back in the day when everything first started. So of course, and you ask different people, and he's talking about the Heritage Collection. Um, so some people consider the 6 carat diamond SAS as a heritage, but it was never labeled that. Technically, the first heritage was a pro diver with black mother pearl and like diamonds on the hour markers, and it had an R150, and it was a limited edition of 150.
wow, that one sounds
Then,
nice.
then the next ones started coming out, and that's when all the way up until so that Zeus that you have is literally the tipping line between of where it stopped and started, and now the last three. So the the hybrid is movement only. The Lupa is Swiss movement. The Sand One is Swiss movement, and then those two new colorways that they did is Swiss movement. But if you go far enough back, so there was two Venoms, SAS. Was it? There's a Man of War. I can't remember off the top of my head now. But those actually were full Swiss made. Like I say, the first 4 or 5 that they released, the limited edition was 300, and then they bumped it to 500. Um, and then right about the time that Rona hit and everything was literally mid production on that Zeus, and so that's why the front half was actually built before and then released, and then the second half was finished afterwards. And
The more you know.
it's crazy. I mean, I got all this information, from from one of the hosts, kind of let me in on some information.
Okay,
Vic
cool.
is asking, have you been on a sweet Magnum kick? What's your favorite thing that you like about the Magnum? Of course, Vic would ask a Magnum question.
It's fitment. Design is spectacular, but fitment for sure. Fitment's the number one for me. Like I've said it in multiple videos. I don't wear Venoms because they don't fit me right. I have a trigger,
Hmm.
don't fit me right. If it doesn't fit me, I'm a wearer. So if it doesn't fit me, I don't want it. And the Magnum was like a grail piece for me, let's say 4 years ago. They were $800, limited, hard to find.
Hmm.
And it was like, man, that's a cool looking watch. I want that watch. And then we had went to, I think it was J.C. Penney's. I don't know how many years ago now. And they had a all yellow gold with a blue dial. And I was like, let me try that on. And I think it was like $900. And, J.C. Penney, of course, marks it up a little bit. But I tried it on and I was like, I love this watch. I need to get one. So then I think it was maybe like a year later, Invicta stores, when they first started really having great pricing, I bought that Jason Taylor, the Dolphins colorway, Magnum.
Okay. Yep.
And then it was on after that. Every time I see a color or something I wanted, I had to get it. But they're comfortable. The design is so unique. I mean, that's one of those watches where if you're 100 feet away, you can tell, hey, that's a Magnum.
Yeah.
Most of the other
Yeah.
watches, they all kind of blend similar. I mean, of course, like a C-Hunter, you can notice and stuff, but that Magnum is just so unique. I love the design and the
Yeah.
fitment.
I totally agree. Yeah, T, we're live. Texas T was saying, "Are y'all live on air?" That was the running joke the other night, when someone was watching the shows on Shop, and they thought it was a replay, so they're like, "Is this on? Is this live? Is this live?" And then Justin's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, we really are live," and he's like, moving stuff around. It was funny, but yeah.
Okay.
Um, have you tried the Grand Venom, or have you seen one?
No, I've seen pictures. I've never got to actually try one on,
Okay.
but I've John Zubak is a collector that's in my group
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I know he was on the Victor cruises and everything. And we talked about that Grand Venom because he said he loves it and he can't wear Venoms for the same reason.
Right.
And he said the Grand Venom fits it perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got one, and it is massive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That thing is definitely a full pounder. I mean, it's sea hunter worthy weight. I mean, it is all of that in a bag of chips, because it is super heavy.
Is
Actually,
it
I think mine's silver high polish with
with
platinum mother
platinum?
of pearl and the
Yeah.
8040N. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the only one that came out with, correct?
So far, that's the only one. Trap's asking about TBT
Shirts.
shirts.
I see it. I haven't worked out a date yet, but it's definitely going to happen. My last live, my first real live with the Vintage Invicta.
Okay, right.
Um, I felt like there was actually a few people that wanted it, so I just need to figure it out. I need to figure out how to do like a pre-order, get rolling, find a they'll do them for me. Maybe start out with like 20 shirts and see how it goes. But I definitely want to be wearing my own. Right now I'm wearing the Georgia Mountain Kapowie shirt, but I would definitely be loved in my own big time game right here across the chest.
Right.
So I definitely need to do it. I need to pull the trigger and just get it done.
Yeah. So I'm actually working on some stuff behind the scenes myself, and well, Smitten's helping a lot because she does all that stuff. Um, so if you want, hit me up afterwards, and I'll kind of tell you who we're kind of working out some deals with, as far as being
Awesome.
able to work through. And then, as far, I mean, if you've got I mean, I'm sure you've got your logo pretty much down pat now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a couple of places that you don't have to manage the inventory and do all that yourself. You just do it through them, and then
That
yeah.
sounds amazing. Yeah, because I mean, I'm as I go. and that's something I have no idea how to even start or hard to jump into. I'm just a little trigger shy. I don't want too deep and then be stuck with
Yeah.
hundreds for 5 years. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I've definitely
Agreed.
been a little hesitant. So I definitely
Yeah.
got to pull the trigger though. And Trap, I'll be sending yours free. So when I make them, yours is free. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, who was it? Sheldon was saying that there was
What's up,
another
Midnight?
colorway. There was the rose gold on that Grand Venom.
Oh,
So
was there?
yeah,
I've never seen it.
yeah. But I think that they only that it was like a one and done. Like you had the two options, and then that was it. And I haven't seen them re-release the Grand Sub 1, the Grand Sub 3, or the Grand Venom ever since because I got one of each of those. But I haven't seen a re-release of any of that. So I don't
Was
know
that a
if
limited edition? The Venom, the Grand Venom?
here. Show some watches. I'll be right back.
Oh, he's gonna go look for it. What's up, Midnight? Um, so what do I got here right now? So one new one that'll be coming to the channel soon is why everything's backwards, screwing me up. The excursion I just picked up. So this one's dead. I'm gonna be doing a battery change. Got off my buddy David Rennick. We met up the other day. This is the beauty. So it's a white mother, blue accents, all stainless steel. Beautiful watch. So I'm doing a battery change and like a show and tell on this one. Um, let me show this before we flip over to the Grand Venom again. This is one of my favorites that I never thought I would like.
The jailbreak?
And this is the Jailbreak. Yeah, SW200. The only thing I do not like about this watch, and anybody that has one, let me know if I'm tripping or not, but the crown is so slick. I don't have fingernails. I'm a nail biter. And I cannot get that crown to pull for, nothing. It takes me way too long to get that crown out to be able to set the time and wind. I mean, I'm talking frustration kicks in
Yeah.
because it's so smooth. Let me get that in there. It's super crown.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
almost
high
like
polished.
polished.
It's
Yeah.
high polished, yeah.
Oh, is it?
And
Okay, yeah.
it is hard to get out. That's my only gripe. I love the way the watch looks. I love the way it wears, but just trying to set it is like a task in itself.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Grand Venom. Let me see.
Yep.
Get some light. So this is actually on the case back. It's actually a 10-year anniversary of the Venom.
Oh,
So it's a 10-year anniversary, and it's LE of 500 on this one.
so
That's
that's why we
that.
haven't seen it again.
Yeah, and that's probably why. So either they made them all and they all went, or they just haven't made the second run. But yeah,
You don't see it often. Like, I mean, if nobody else knows, I run a group called Big Ass Watches, and we post our daily, wrist shots on there. And I'd say like John Zubak, that's the only person I see it from. The people that post them, I never see that ever.
yeah. I don't think there's a lot of people that have it. I mean, like I say, I mean, an LE of 500 is pretty short. Vic's
Definitely.
asking about difficulty of changing the battery in a Nautilus, RD Nautilus.
And I've never done it, so I have no clue. I don't own a Nautilus, so that's one thing that I get a lot of on YouTube and that I can't answer. And I'm completely honest if I know. And the Nautilus, I've heard there's like a piece of glass on the back that you have to before you can get to the battery. I don't know if that's true, but I believe one of the collectors that told me, asked me, and I was like, I have no clue. It's in front of me, and I get to, I'm not sure how to get into it. But yeah, I don't own one. So I've never gotten to the back of a.
Okay. So I'll let's see. Hold on. I get it here. So this is I think I got it right. That's your
Yes, sir.
Facebook, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anybody is it Big Time Gang? Is that how you spell the other one?
Yeah. Hashtag big time game. All caps, one word. That's my what I made it for. And I don't find it often enough. I made it for the true subscriber that wants a little bit of my day to day. That's what I made that group for on Facebook. So it's not, nobody's posting a watch of the day post or anything like that. It's me posting it. But besides my puppy, we got like a month or two. I haven't really posted too much day to day stuff. It's just between work and YouTube and business. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So if
Yeah.
anybody's looking for that
And
one,
that's small. I don't know how many.
I see 169. Yeah, I didn't even. I mean, I knew about your YouTube and the other one. I didn't even. I mean, I had to admit I'm not as big a Facebook person as I used to be. Um,
Yeah.
some I don't know why. It seems like there's a little bit more contention or issues. I'll be politically
Yeah.
correct right now on Facebook that I generally don't see as much of on like Instagram. So I've
So
kind of leaned
for
that
me,
direction.
I kind of filter it. So, friends I have, besides, friends that I actually know in person, all my other friends are watch friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't accept anybody's friend request. When it comes to my group, you have to have a legit profile. I'm not going to just accept you because you started your profile yesterday and you're looking to jump in every group you find, So I'm a little selective, and if you
Yeah,
get one in that has a problem, it's the boot because I want everybody to feel comfortable, not feel like they're going to get hacked because they posted something, not get razzed about anything, and have
yeah,
people posting negative stuff. That's the last thing I want. So
yeah.
I'm
Watch
definitely
bullying and oh, you
exactly,
only have something like that. Oh, I'm sorry.
exactly.
And
Yeah, so they gotta go. Hope you have a great day too. Fun facts with Amani.
so that's actually Meat and I's daughter. She started a YouTube YouTube channel.
Awesome.
She talks about a lot of uh, movie personalities and stuff. It's a
That's
lot of fun.
awesome.
So being a content creator and everything on YouTube, how long have you been on YouTube now?
So I started the end of September, so 2 months before. And when I started, the reason I started was I had a note right here, a knife the wrong way, and that has no external memory. So with that phone, shoot a video and upload. The memory was so I think it's like 32 gigs. And then uh, wife bought me a note 2 months early for my birthday, for in 2018. So we both got Note 9s like in September. And then my buddies have been with me for maybe like 2 months before that because I'm the guy at work. Everybody that has a watch, dead or needs to be sized, me up to fix them. And when I started a YouTube channel about well, I'm no pro, deal with that. And then when I got the new phone, was video and posted it on my existing YouTube, which I've had since I think 2012. I've had this account. So if you were to look at my, it's from like 2012 or 2010 to now. I didn't start posting my first to I think the end of September, and then it just kind of what it is now. I looked up a lot of stuff when I first started consistent posting and getting people know if they want to watch, they know when to tune in, and there's going to be and that's the way I've kind of said it for the last maybe year and a half. And I don't do anything live. I don't do anything, in the week. Normally, like if I'm shooting a video this week, you won't see it for a month. So that's what it's become, and it makes it a lot less for me. So that works. Uh-oh, I can't hear John.
How about now?
Is it me?
Better?
There, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I was just gonna say, before I started these lives, I was trying to do Tuesdays and Fridays of my videos, and then Smitten's videos were every Sunday, and these lives, are taken up. So I think I've pretty much gotten down to just Fridays, and of course this month I'm in the midst of a big install at work. It's been just chewing up my time like crazy. Um, so I'm feeling a bit behind. So if I miss a couple of Fridays or Sundays, I apologize to everyone.
Do you understand? Yeah.
I promise to get back on track.
So you normally shoot the day of or a day before?
No, so I usually will try and either I'll shoot like 2 or 3 on like a Saturday or maybe a Friday night, depending on what's going on, and then that gives me a couple days to kind of sit down in iMovie and stuff like that and kind of build it and put it all together. So I was to the point that I could get 2 or 3 shot on like on a Saturday, and then during the week, like I would have enough to cover that week, and then I'd be editing as I'm going, so that by the time I got to the Saturday, I could you know send them up and have them scheduled, and then they'd be out of the way, and then 2 or 3 more. But like I've
No,
been
it's
crazy.
not easy.
It
So
it it takes some work. I mean,
yeah, and my thing, what works for me is because I get like the watches that were posted, I believe last week. I had a Fossil and a Guess. I
mhm,
don't own a Fossil or a Guess, but my buddies come to me and they're like, "Hey, I need this size or I need this battery changed," and I'm not going to tell them, "All right, well, there's 2 weeks out waiting list." You know what I mean? So I'll go home that night and do it, and I'll shoot the video, and then throughout that week I'll edit it. But that's how I
right,
kind of can consistently make content, is because I'd say at least twice or 3 times a month I get watches that are brought to me that somebody needs work on at
right,
work, and so
yeah, and then
that
you
kind
can
of keeps it
get them
flowing.
canned up and at least get most of the on air stuff, so to speak. You get the raw footage set off to the side at least, and then as long as you've got enough stuff, ahead of it, yeah, it gives you a buffer. And that's I need to get back to that, man. I definitely need to get back to building up another buffer.
Yeah,
Once the project calms down, I'll probably sit down and like on a Saturday and Sunday, I may bang out like 6 or 8, and then
yeah,
work on them. That way, I can start slowing down the pace. But
yeah. And then you
yeah,
have there's no pressure on yourself. They're going out, and yeah, it
yeah,
makes
and
it so
then
much
you're rushing, and like I did a video a
better.
couple weeks ago, and I forgot to measure something, and then I don't even notice it, and then someone's like, "Hey, you didn't measure the bracelets." I'm like, because you're like so harried to try and get it done.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
No,
it's part of the grind. I mean, everyone looks at YouTube sometimes. You're like, oh yeah, I just shoot some stuff and throw it up there, and everybody will love me and come talk to me, and all this. And it's like, there's a lot of work behind YouTube.
oh
I mean,
yeah.
you get high enough up, and that's the biggest thing. I think the algorithms, and not to get off on too much of a tangent on YouTube, but algorithms really love consistency of
Yeah.
what you're doing. Whatever it is, they want you to be consistent at it. So yeah, I've seen that. So Dickerson's in the house. Hey, Double D, what's going on, buddy? And Nightwing just joined. I see him. Tanya, welcome, welcome.
My sister, Tanya Hernandez. Sister. Love you.
It's your sister.
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. So
So
yeah, go ahead.
so my thing lately has been smaller watches. So I've always been the guy 56 millimeter, 53 millimeter. I was a C Hunter fanatic for a couple years. I had up to I think like 13 C Hunters.
Okay.
And now I'm definitely on the smaller kicks. So I was showing them when you had stepped out an excursion I just picked up. But
Yes.
50 to 52 millimeter is definitely my favorite now, and it's really awkward to say because I've always been the giant watch. The biggest I could get is what I need to get. But yeah, now it's totally different. Now, you know, you look around. I have one C100 still, which I have
Yeah.
right here out, which is the one my wife got me. But
Yep.
besides this one, I got rid of them all. The Grand Octanes, I'm not getting rid of all of them. There's some that mean a
No.
lot to me, and there's some that just I can't part with. But I've
And you've
probably
got
only got
some of the old ones, like you've got some of the old school that were like Swiss made that had screw
definitely
down
a lot of them.
crowns. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I've got
yeah, old school watches. I mean, those are the ones that I've kind of been looking at now. Like, not to say that some of the newer watches coming out aren't nice, but I think there's something, about some of the old ones that you just don't see as much anymore that are really cool. And
no,
yeah,
I
I,
agree.
I agree. 50 to 52 is definitely a nice wheelhouse. Um, it's big enough that it's on your wrist, and it's a little bit more comfortable.
So that
Yes,
one there
the
is
high
the old school.
polish.
Yep, Swiss made white
Mhm.
mother of pearl.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's one I
with
just picked up. But
the
I'm
nice
definitely
blue
after.
rings
Hmm.
around it. Yeah, yeah. I love that design.
And
Yeah.
like this, the trigger I got this one. I was all excited to get it, which this one I'm selling. But this one's Swiss made, old
Oh, okay.
school trigger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was so happy to get it. And then I bought a new bracelet for it and put the bracelet on there, and it was a no go. So I have the original strap as well because it wasn't comfortable with the strap. So I was like, I'm gonna get a bracelet for it, and I'm a bracelet guy. I prefer bracelet over strap,
Right.
100%. So I got the bracelet for it, and I'll show you.
I think I remember that
Um,
video when you changed it out, and it's that bar system that they put up by the lugs that doesn't allow it to bow out right. Yeah,
yeah, right here. Yeah,
it's very
that's it.
venomous. Yeah,
That's it. No give.
yeah,
And so my wrist is wider than this, so it's either cocked off to one side or
yeah,
it's sitting right on top, and I just can't do it. So even though I love this watch, I love the design. This is one that I'll let go just because I don't wear it anymore, or I won't
yeah,
wear it.
yeah. Yeah, Rico's like he usually goes for the bigger ones too, but he's becoming a 50 mil fan. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that's all of us. So I mean, honestly, you get onto that kick where bigger is better, and it's like you get a 52 millimeter, and it's like, hey, they make 56. You get the
Yeah,
56, and then it's
yeah,
like they have a 70. Oh, you gotta get the 70, and then um, you wear it for a whole day. Like the time I realized that 70 or the C100 full size, which is actually 58,
yeah,
was uncomfortable for me was we had my daughter's birthday party and I wore that watch. And I'd say 2 or 3 hours into it, it was starting to drive me crazy. So it
yeah,
was, I live in Arizona. It's 110 degrees outside, and I'm sweating. And the watch is all over my wrist, moving around. It's banging my hand every time
yeah,
I go to do something. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking this off.
yeah,
And so normally I never take my watch off. I took it off. And then from that point on, I just kind of was like, I think I'm going to shrink my C100 collection and move on. And that's one thing that I love about the Invicta family is that we get to barter, trade, sell to each other.
yeah.
And as long as you're honest with what you got, I've had, only one, maybe two bad situations out of probably 200 deals that I've done, maybe,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. Because I mean, I normally don't keep a watch very long unless I really love it. It's
Right.
normally I get it, I wear it, and it's either yeah or nah, and then I move on. I trade it or I sell it and get another one.
Yeah.
And only the ones that like the Grand Octanes, those are the ones that I held on to for a long time. But normally it's in and out.
Yeah.
I with that privilege of being able to do that, I love it and I feed off of it and continue to
Oh
do
yeah.
that. I think you hold on to your watches a little more than I do, right? You don't sell very
Yeah.
often.
I've given two of my watches to some friends, but other than that, yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't let go of any yet. I keep debating because there are some that in the frenzy, that I was
Hmm.
buying, buying to buy. Um, and it's one of these things, when you're looking through and you're like, and you like every day you could just pass it by and you're like, nah, yeah, I probably need to trim down some, but
Definitely.
then
So I
again,
see.
some of them are interesting from the standpoint of that they're unique, either something about it you just don't see it anymore or something like that. So then I'm like, oh, do I want to get rid of it and then not have that, So
Yeah,
I'm
and then
kind of
regret it.
torn.
No, I
Yeah,
understand 100%.
yeah.
There's been plenty that I've regretted. I actually have one right here, and I brought this out for that reason. So this was given to me by one of my buddies I work with. I did a battery change on all his watches, and he had a nice hefty Invicta collection at one time. This is a Subaqua Sport, and it's a
Okay.
titanium case, and it's got the white poly strap. And this is uncomfortable. The poly strap is uncomfortable, but it's a beautiful watch. Swiss
Yeah,
made
great.
reserve, and I traded it off. I should have never done it. It was given to me, even though I earned it. I changed like 100 batteries for the guy.
Right,
Um, I traded it off because I wanted probably a Grand Octane. I don't remember what I got for it,
right.
but I traded it off. And then I'd say maybe 6 months later, I was going through my Instagram and I saw the picture I had posted of that watch. Like, man, that watch is such a good looking watch. I wish I never got rid of it. And just recently, I traded my Aragon Silverjet and picked that back up.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I was willing to give probably anything for it. I wanted it back, but
Right,
it's not the exact same watch, but it's the exact same model. So
right.
I'm happy I got it back. It ain't going nowhere this time.
Yeah. So
And I
Vic's
see Vic.
asking about the direction your
Mm-hmm.
collection is going. Are you leaning in a certain direction now, or are you just kind of navigating as you see interesting pieces that come up?
No, I've definitely got like a little bit of a direction. Um, I'm one of those people that addicted personality that way. So I get something that I like and I want more. So
Hmm.
it's shoes, whether it's I mean, pretty much anything. If I can afford it and it's not gonna hurt the pockets, I'll do it. So with watches,
Hmm.
it's the same. So Grand Octanes, obviously, I had a goal of 63. I met it, and then it was like, okay, now what? So I started to let those go to get other watches. But
Hmm.
the Subaco Specialty has been a big one for me lately.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
the Venom Hybrid. So I consider those one and the same, just the bezel's different. But I had maybe zero or one of them. I had the Aztec, and that was it. Let's say
Okay.
2 years ago, and right now I probably have 13 to 15, counting the hybrids.
Hmm.
So 52 millimeters is like my size.
Yeah.
These Russian divers, the square body Russian divers, I have 9 of these now. So
Okay.
that's another direction I'm going.
Right.
Bolt Zeus, I have between the Magnum, the Tria, the regular Bolt Zeus, I have probably, let's say 20, maybe around there, maybe a
Okay.
little more. But so
Hmm.
definitely I've wandered off and I got my little direction I'm going. The Chaos is another one. I only
Yeah.
have 7 right now. I might have an 8th on the way. I might be
Okay.
doing a custom build on one. But
Okay.
yeah, the Chaos is definitely one. I want to get more R150s. So I
Yes.
have quartz. I have the um, Jason Taylor quartz. I have the Combat Graffiti. I think that's a 60.
Hmm.
Um, but I have 3 R150s and hopefully a 4th on the way. But I want to get the diamond one next. It's just a little too rich for me. But I want to get one of the diamond pieces. I'd like to get the rose gold or the all stainless in the diamond dial. I mean, the Pave dial is amazing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a coalition
Yeah.
Porsche sleeper.
R150s are definitely a soft spot for me. I have quite a few of them. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, Rico, he did have that sniper, which is a Swiss-made sniper that actually came out probably 5, 6 years ago.
this is this one here is a trigger.
Trigger. Sorry,
Yeah,
Trigger. Yes,
the
my
sniper is
bad.
the one with the
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bolt
The
action
dial. Yeah,
at the
yeah. I've
six.
got,
Yeah,
I've got. I
and
think I've got two of them.
so I had done a video on my buddies. I don't know, maybe a year ago. He had the gunmetal with the tinted crystal,
Yep.
and I made a video on it, so it looked like I owned it. If you didn't, hear the whole video, but it wasn't mine. No, I've never got one. If I was to, I think it'd be that version of it, the gunmetal with the tinted crystal. I think is the best looking one out of all of them. But
Yeah,
something about it, it's cool, but I didn't fall in love, so I didn't pull the trigger. It wasn't nothing against it. Just
yeah,
I'm one of those people. The last couple of years, I have to kind of be where I think about it daily, and then I'm like, oh, I got to get it. If it doesn't continue to play in my head, then I'm like, I can live without it. So
yeah. Like Godfather says, it's not smacking upside the face.
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah, if I'm not going back on there to check if the price went down a little bit more, then I don't need it.
Yeah.
What do you like most about the Aragon? I have a few and just love them. For me, it's the bracelet designs. Honestly, is the number one for me. So I didn't even bring my Aragons out. I can grab them. But the millipede, the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, that bracelet is. The
Oh,
seat
yeah, yeah,
chargers,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that video. Yeah, with all the big bolt sections all the way going down
Mm-hmm.
the outside edge and everything. Yeah.
And I mean, like I said before, I'm a bracelet guy.
Yeah.
Having such a unique style bracelet just drew me in quick. And then the seat charger is another one that there's 6 individuals, and it's like a bicycle chain or like a motorcycle chain,
Okay.
and very cool design. That's also bolted, screwed together.
Okay.
So I got another seat charger on the way actually, but so I think I'll have 4 after I get this next one that I have coming.
Okay.
So what I think is the simplicity of the Aragons. Most of them are autos. Most of them have a very simple 3-hand dial. There's not too much complication going on. Case design isn't overwhelmingly, and then the bracelets are like on point. I mean, the bracelets are just what draw me in the most. In my Aragon collection,
Yeah, T. I know you've got a couple. She's talking about she's got a millipede and loves that bracelet.
yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely the style
Yeah.
of this watch.
For everyone in the
Um,
chat, put a 1 if you want to see T on the show showing her collection. I'm teasing. I was teasing with her. She's a little bit more camera shy than what she cares for, and I would never, I was just teasing T. But it is an open invitation if in case you change your mind, because I've seen some of her watches and she has
amazing collection.
amazing watches. Oh my gosh, yes,
That's
amazing
awesome.
watches. I think she's got all 3 of those Damascus. I know she's got the sandstone and the hematite, and I can't remember if if she had the other one. I can't remember the dial face, but there was like 3 different styles of dial face. Oh,
I see ones everywhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Show that watch again that you just had up. Yeah.
So
Now
this
is
was
that
that
a
new
spinner
millipede.
dial on the inside too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's got a like, little
Oh,
turbine looking thing there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this was one that uh I get the Aragon, notifications when he puts stuff on sale. Like most collectors at Aragon do, and the price was just amazing. It was like 150 or 150 or 68, something like that. But I saw the uniqueness, and it's automatic, and it's a 48 millimeter, which is a size that I like. So they used to make the Android 55 millimeter.
Okay.
I had one. I don't know if you saw the video, but I let it go back to the original owner because he's in love with them, and I wasn't. But the love and 55 Android has the same size bracelet as 8 millimeter does. So I think it's more like chaos type, where it's a wide bracelet
Mm-hmm.
than the small case. I love the way that contrast looks. So
Mm-hmm.
the 48 definitely for me. This is the one I like. I think I have four millimeter.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a couple of your videos. I want to say when you mentioned that you did a comparison video of the 2 of them side by side,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember seeing that you were talking about the bracelets and everything. Yeah, I probably need to look at Aragon because I've seen quite a few of your videos on them, and uh, T's asking, have you tried the Aragon tubes?
What is it? It's called a tube. Not familiar. I'm not that
Is that
familiar.
those like those T100 tubes? I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. Tube. No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm more about the design. I've always been that way, more about the design than, ITM tubes or anything like that. But this
Yeah.
one, the C Charger, this this is my favorite Aragon out of all mine. It's got that battleship gray dial, and then
Yes.
that bracelet is amazing. I don't know what it is about that gray, but it's just like a unique gray that you don't see on watches very often.
No.
And it
No.
looks super good.
It's
And
not a silver, but it's not a dull gray, and
no,
it's not really a battleship like a dark battleship gray. That's a unique. Yeah, I
yeah,
like
it's
that
super.
bracelet. Now, are those all individual linked out like that too?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's what is that?
six,
No,
seven.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14
Oh,
individual
each
links.
sliver is an individual piece.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Almost like the Quadro Dragon. You got one of
Okay.
those?
No, I
You
don't
ever
have one of those, but I've seen them.
and it's got all the little it's like little triangles all the way across, and then you've got a pin that you got to fit all of them together, and
Exactly the
then
way this is.
it's got the it's a pin and collar, but the collar is actually on the head end. So you've got a pin this long, and then the collar piece actually collars on to the stem at the end.
That sounds like it'd
So
be difficult to size.
they are you have to go at it the same way you would like an octane with a sleeve, but you've got to turn it upside down, and then you've got to you can see the pin inside, and you've got to get like I think the biggest is like an 8 mil, and then you punch down through it, and then you punch the pin out, and then turn it over and get the head off, and then you take it apart.
Wow.
It's a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of fun. Similar to and Trap knows what I'm talking about. When he was still working at K's, there was a gentleman brought in a pro diver that was tungsten, ceramic, and stainless steel, and it had a similar bracelet pin system similar to that. And the pin goes in, and then the collar kind of fits, but it's like it's like a compression fit on just on one end. It's really
Oh,
weird,
okay.
but it smooths everything out, and there's nothing sticking out. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're interesting to. The first time I did one, I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was a Leviathan. I want to say. I don't own one right now, but I want to say it was a Leviathan
Okay.
that had two collars in the center of the links, and then the pin that went through it, and it was maybe like a wave design where there was 2 points and then plus the two ends. I want to say it was a Leviathan, but that thing was a pain in the butt to size. You had to get those little pins back in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
and
not easy.
it was like a three, so it was like a outer, then inner, or outer next, inner next, outer, and the
Hmm.
sleeves were on the two next to the outers, and then you got to feed it through and then get it all lined up so you don't push it out the other side. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fun. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one word for it. We got
Yeah.
the first
That's like
letter right, but yeah, it was
this watch.
definitely.
This watch is so easy. I mean, if you watch the video on this one that I did,
Yeah, yeah.
I
To
mean, I was
unscrew
like
it. That was
pressing.
amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, simple, easy, super easy. And I
Now,
mean,
but
I've
you
seen
haven't had them back out,
no, and I check them, like the
right?
Chaos as well, the Sea
Yes.
Dragon. There's a few that I check before I wear it.
Yes.
I'll the Chaos. I'll tighten with the screwdriver. This
Hmm.
I'll screw with my fingers, and that's all you need to do is finger tight.
Yeah.
But I definitely check because I do not want my watch falling to the floor or the ground or the concrete. Oh yeah, that would be devastating. So yeah, I check.
Yeah.
Definitely check.
Yeah. Godfather's like he had his Quadro and had them size it on the cruise.
Smart man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not a lot of fun, but I mean, I enjoyed it after I got it done because then it was fascinating to look at how the system was put together. So that was unique, but yeah, in the heat of battle, yeah, that wasn't exactly Most fun moment in sizing a watch for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Was it somebody else's or was it yours?
no, they're mine. It was mine.
Oh, okay.
It was
That
mine.
makes it even worse when it's someone else's and
Oh
they're watching you do it, and then you got something complicated like that. Yeah, piece of
yeah,
cake, and then you take it apart, and oh man, yeah, I can imagine.
yeah. I worked on a friend of mine's at work, and I swear to God, I think it was a Grand Octane too. So obviously pin and sleeve, right?
Was it iridescent?
No, but
That's the toughest one I've ever done. The iridescent.
it was worse. It had been left outside for a while.
Oh, rusted.
Yes. I luckily I had to go really small because it was, believe it or not, for a lady, and it was super small, so I had pins to play with. I massacred two pins. Like I'm talking, they were like that. Like
Yeah, hooks.
I mean,
Yeah.
like mangled. It took me 45 minutes to size that thing.
Yikes.
I was just like, I thought I was going to go insane. I literally had to get out. Um, what did I use? Like nail polish remover. There was something that I used to. I lubed it with something and let it sit there, and then I had to keep going. Put it this way, then push it back, and push this,
Wow.
because it would just get to a certain spot and it would just lock up. And I mean, you could plier the thing, it wouldn't come apart, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, that iridescent Grand Octane, I had that for maybe like a year, but when I first got it and sized it, I went through like 5 punches before I got it sized. Oh,
Yeah.
just 4 punches.
Have you done many graffitis?
I have one chaos graffiti, and that's the only one I've done. Oh, I've done two. I did the chaos graffiti, and I did the Grand S1 rally. Those are the only two I've done.
Because every once in a while, if I've got a graffiti that I know I have to do, if I don't punch that, if it doesn't punch within about 3 taps, then I literally turn it over and start tapping. Because when they do the dip, it just like that iridescent, it folds itself in there and narrows that ever so slightly, and so you got to work it back and forth a little bit, and then it'll
Break
go.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to kind of
break it loose.
loosen it, but. Rico's like, iridescents are tough. Second piece I ever sized. Yeah. Thought you were doing something wrong.
Ooh, that's
Amen,
tough.
man.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
I
the
hear you
second
on
piece,
that
that's
one.
tough.
Yeah. I got one. It wasn't iridescent. Wasn't anything special about it. It was a heritage watch. I think I did a video on it because I was doing the sizing, and that thing fought me. I literally had to get pliers and one of the pins, and it was just a cotter pin, wasn't anything special. Somehow they got it in backwards.
I've had that happen. I've had that happen.
Oh
Yep. Yep.
man,
Yeah.
that is a fight of your life to get that thing
No,
out.
yeah.
Oh my! I basically had to just get it shoved in there far enough, open the links up, and then just yank it out with a pair of pliers, and then try and put it back together because there was
Yeah.
no way it was going out the way it came in. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what they did to get it in there, but yeah, that was
I want to say it was either a meteorite sea hunter or uh, the tinted crystal. I want to say it was one of those, but I had the same scenario. Is a sea hunter cotter pin or is it pin and sleeve?
it depends. I've had both.
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
it really
So
depends.
I want to say it was a tinted crystal,
I
but
think the
I started
Gen
to size it.
ones. I think it was the Gen ones were sleeve, and most of the twos are cotter or other way around. I can't remember. I remember there was something different, but yeah, I've run into both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was black ionic plated, and
Yep.
then it's my buddy's watch, and he's standing over me because it's at work. I keep a toolkit at work, and so I start hammering out the first one, and I get it, 5 millimeters, 4 millimeters, and it stops. And so I pull out the needle nose pliers and start pulling on it, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So then I realized that that the wide side is on the wrong side.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily I was able to beat it a little bit and get it back through the other way and do it the right way. But so every arrow the pin was reversed. And so, you know, if you're following the arrow, yeah, it's a
Right.
nightmare. So if somebody that's a rookie, that would have been very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably would have gave up halfway through.
Yeah. And been cursing and carrying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel I really would feel bad if someone ran into a reverse pin like their first or second time out, because they're going to be like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? And
yeah, and like you and
uh,
I know what to look for because you know what the side that's supposed to be coming out first looks like it's got the split. But
mm-hmm.
if you're new to it, oh yeah, it's gonna be very difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I love a strap watch. No sizing necessary.
All
That's a
right,
true
T. I
statement.
appreciate you stopping by. We'll check you later.
Have a good one.
What are y'all thinking,
Technomarine. So
Technomarine?
I've never owned a Technomarine, so I couldn't speak on it. I've never held one in my hands. No experience with it at all.
Christy has two. So Christy has two. I love the design on them. Technos usually run a little bit smaller than what I care for. They're usually
Exactly.
42, 44,
That's why I don't own one.
which
Yeah.
is a bit small. So one of them she has is the what do they call it? Technocell. Yeah, Technocell, and it has
The
it's not really a
fluid.
full honeycomb, but it's like a partial honeycomb shape, but it's all the way around the inside, just inside the rehaut and everything. It's a really cool design. I love the way it looks. Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, sizing's overrated. I figured Pappy would throw that one in there. Just get like a big, just cut up one of the watch cushions and just stuff it under your wrist.
There you
Just
go.
put it on
Yeah.
that way.
One that I have, I think two is the glycine or glycine. I don't know how to say
Okay.
it, but they're quality.
Yeah. Oh,
They're nice watches. A little
I
too small for me as well, but very nice watches.
I
Um,
have my eye on the Glycine 46 Airman Combat with the little trigger system paddle over here for the
okay,
chronograph.
yeah. What does
Even
that run though?
uh, in the previously owned section of Invicta stores, the lowest I've seen it is around 950.
Yeah, yeah. They're
They've
definitely a
got
lot more pricey
another
than
one,
this.
and it's black, it's beautiful. They got another one that the bezel is actual 18 karat rose gold, not
Oh, nice.
plated,
Yeah.
rose gold, 22.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
I have actually 3 videos on what you were just speaking of, but Invictus. So have you heard of the Invictus that have the solid gold bezel? So
yeah,
there's, yeah,
it's been a while, but I have seen them like on Facebook or somebody's posted.
yeah. So there's pro divers, and my buddy Michael Carson sent them to me. He's gonna be doing the raffle on them.
Okay,
So there's a rose gold with I want to say the rose gold has a black mother of pearl, and then the yellow gold has a white mother of pearl. I want to say I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure. My memory sucks. But anyways, um, they're both solid gold bezels, rose gold and yellow gold.
right,
And you know, if you don't know it, you're like, why is this watch so expensive?
right,
But yeah, you know, you got to do a little bit of research on the model number and find out what it really is. But
yeah.
they're great looking pieces.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
I mean because they had them on the website and they're like side by side, and I'm looking at them. I'm like,
What's the big deal, right? Yeah.
what's the big deal? What's so special about that? I was thinking maybe it's got some weird crazy movement. I'm like, no. And then I click in it and it's like 18 karat. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah. And if you don't know, you're like, exactly. You're like, what's the big deal? Why is it so inflated? But then you find out, yeah, it's got a few ounces of gold in there. And it makes more sense.
Yeah. So Rico is saying at Vic said the sandblasted Magnum was pretty easy to size, almost too easy. Felt like the pins almost fell out.
I
I
don't
have
want to sandblast it either.
uh trying to
So I've
think.
never sized a sandblasted. piece.
I don't think I have a sandblasted. No, no, I don't. I have seen if like you get a pin, especially on cotter pins, and I'm sure you've seen it too with that. And I got a watch, and it was like an as is or something, so it'd been sized, and they when they put everything or took it apart, they banged on the cotter pin end so much that it flattened those little, the way they point out.
Hmm.
And I've had to actually take little pliers and like bend it and then put it back together to widen it out. So when it's not very often, and I've never done it on like a brand new, but I had one or two that I got from like the as is store, and
Hmm.
I had to fiddle with them a little bit.
Well,
Um,
I come across, I get a lot of used watches because my trading and stuff,
right.
and I've gotten a few where it looks like somebody chewed on the bracelet, and then they put a pin in there that's like half the size
Hmm.
that belongs in there, and it's like trying to get it back out, it's too wide and it's too short, so it's jammed in there, and oh yeah, I've had some nightmares. But if there's a will, there's a way, right? We'll figure it out eventually.
I
And especially if I like the watch, I'm gonna give it
Yeah.
my all to make sure I can get it to fit on my wrist.
So I had been jonesing and looking for the is it is it black and aubergine, that Venom? It was black and aubergine Venom hybrid.
I don't even know what aubergine is. What is that?
It's like a purple, like an eggplant.
Oh, okay.
But you know how the Venom that hybrid bracelet is all put together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh, rose and aubergine. That's right. So it's rose,
Oh, I've seen
like,
that one. That's
yeah,
a
rose.
beautiful watch.
Yeah, I had to take when I say every link, I literally mean I had to take every link pressed apart and reassemble because they were using the wrong pins in the wrong places. And you would go to knock out the pin that should be the removable, and it's on the pressed side. Like they
Oh,
put everything back together wrong. They had the links because you got like that little lip that comes over. They had one going this way and the other one going that way, and it was. I spent 3 hours. Like I
wow.
literally took the whole bracelet apart and had like a little thing that I figured out that I pry the pieces that were all janked up apart, line them all back up because I luckily it wasn't my first Venom hybrid, so I literally had one of my Venom hybrids sitting next to me, and then I was like, okay, so that one goes, and I literally had to piece the thing back together. That was
Did
the
you use
nightmare.
like Loctite or something for the part that's pressed, or did it go back together good enough and it's
It
solid
it
now?
went back together when you put the right pin in the right press point. I mean, I kind
Yeah.
of roughed them up a little bit, with like
Okay.
the tip end of the pliers. Abalone, that's what the other one was. There was sandstone, hematite, and abalone on those Damascus Pro Divers. Thank you,
Oh,
Kimon.
okay.
Yeah, those were. I have the sandstone. That was the one I got. I love that watch, and I remember seeing people. I did a video on it, and they're like, that's not real Damascus. It's just painted on." And I'm like, no, no. I'm like I can run my thumb. Of course, you can't show it on. I mean, people, but you can feel. And I mean, I've got 3 or 4 Damascus knives and things like that. So I've seen Damascus steel in person, and I kind of had an idea what it should look like. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is Damascus through and
Yeah.
through, inside one side, the other. Oh,
That's
Kimon's
another
gonna
one
get
I
a
need to get.
pro diver tomorrow for watch of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, Kimon's got some really nice watches.
Yes. Yes.
I need to get a
Amazing
I need to get a
watches.
Damascus. I don't own one yet.
Yeah,
I
they're
bid on a
they're hard
couple
to
of the.
find. I
I
mean,
went on a couple for the Aragon when they were up on the raffle sites. I went out after a couple of them, but I didn't win. But like I said again, it's when it's on sale and I see it, there's always something else. Either I want more, or if it doesn't, bang me upside the head, I just don't pull the trigger. And sometimes
Yeah.
I regret it, sometimes I don't. But the Damascus is definitely one that's unique, and I
Yeah.
need to get one in my collection.
But it's definitely one of those when I say they're proud of it and they priced it accordingly.
Yeah.
You can't touch a Damascus for. I think the lowest I've ever seen it was right at about 9, maybe
Wow.
875. Yeah, they are not for the faint of heart when you're looking at the value pays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like some of these, like the Grand Octane with the diamonds and the Torby that was at 17, or some of these other crazy diamond pieces. But for just it's got a SW 500, so it's got a really nice movement in it. But
Mm-hmm.
everything else, it's a 47 Pro Diver shell and all that. But yeah, it's that one can go quite a ways. So Kimon, mentioning of that, um, I'm sure everyone here would love to see your collection in full, or at least a good 50-60% of it. So if you're interested, hit me up. There should be my email is in the description of this video. I'd love to get you on here and get some close-ups of some of those watches, because I saw his thing with Kenny, and he's got some amazing timepieces.
I actually did when I was doing a subscriber showcase. You remember that?
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
about
yeah,
a
yeah,
year
yeah.
ago.
I remember. Did you do his too?
Yeah, yeah, I did a video
Okay.
on his. His collection's probably definitely changed since then, but I had a video on his collection. That was, I would say, maybe over a year ago.
I remember
But if you
seeing
look it up,
Bob. You did. I think you did Bob's, and I'm drawing a blank. Didn't you do
don't
Bob?
worry. I'm always drawing a blank. I did do Bob's. I
Okay.
did multiple videos on Bob's collection. I think I did like 5 videos on his collection.
Okay, that's why it sticks out so much, because there was more than one. Okay.
Yeah. There was quite a few. I can't even think right now either. But
It's all right.
I'd say there was about maybe 10 to like 13 different series of different collectors, and some of them were multiple episodes, some of them were one.
Yeah,
But
depending on size
how
and
big the
everything.
collection was, yeah. I don't want to make the video 45 minutes of just staring at somebody move the camera around looking at watches, So, if they didn't talk in the video, it's kind of almost impossible for me, unless I was like, an Invicta expert, to be able to look at the watch and be able, okay, this is that,
Yeah.
So I tried to do a little bit of voiceover, but mainly I just played music and said, enjoy, look at the watches,
Yeah. So behind you is all of now. Is that storage, display, or a combination?
Combination. So
Okay.
like all the one slots, the only thing that's in any of those, the helmets, all that stuff, the only thing that's in there is links. And I'd say there's like maybe 3 or 4 that are full of links.
Okay.
The 3 slots, most of them are empty. I have 8 slots, but I don't leave them on the shelf.
Right.
Yeah, I put those away, safekeeping.
Yeah.
Most of it's just display. I actually bought these shelves and set this up this way just for the videos.
Right.
Because before I was like, I'm not showing my face. It's just my hands, and that's all you get, But then as the channel grew, I was like, okay, well, maybe they'd want to see who they're listening to. So I started to show my face a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I got comfortable doing it, because for me, talking to yourself and getting video recorded was really awkward in the beginning.
Yeah.
But
I did the exact same. Like my first, good Lord, I'd say probably my first year of videos, I stayed on the backside, and it was hand modeling.
Exactly. A lot easier that way, though.
It definitely gives you a different perspective when because I have like a big iPad Pro 12-inch, so I usually will get it to the point that I can look at the watch, but then have enough of being able to see the screen to make sure that I have, I'm not doing one of these.
Right spot.
Oh yeah, you're looking at this watch over here, and all of a sudden you look over and you're like, oh wait, hold on, okay, now we're looking at this, that kind of stuff.
That still happens to me to this day. Yeah. Because
yeah.
The way I set the tripod up, it's like in between my legs and like almost against my chest when I'm working on it. And so I have the tripod, so you get the first person view of my
Right.
view. But then, yeah, it's in the way. I'm working around it, trying to see, around the phone to be able to see the watch and what I'm doing. So,
Well, yeah, because a
yeah,
lot of times, you're trying to like, get in and like, get to the battery plate screw or something like that. So you're tipping around it, and then you just instinctively move it, because you're like, I
hmm
need to move it, and yeah, sometimes it gets out of shot and everything. Yeah,
oh yeah. If you watch my videos, you'll see the camera get bumped and shake. And yeah, I'll have the watch off to the very top corner out there, and then I realize, oh, bring it in. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely happens.
yeah,
Some of
yeah.
those I'll edit out, but most of the time I leave it in, and just like it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, we're all human, and I think that's to me. I've had a couple of people because I think I edited one or two and took a bunch of stuff out, and then I had some friends. They're like, no, leave it in. That we know that's why we know you're human. You're not infallible. When I fought that one bracelet, I left it in, and because sometimes like you said, I mean, you've done plenty. I mean, a lot of us in here that size. I mean, you do plenty of them. It becomes old hat. You don't really think about it, but you know when you do have a struggle, letting people know that, okay, yeah, this is probably my 150th bracelet sizing, but
Yeah.
yeah, I still go through struggles, and but you too can get through it. Just take a deep breath, and get yourself settled
Definitely.
again.
Yeah.
You know, and
What I do is I walk away. I'll walk away sometimes, go take a 5-10 minute break, and I regroup and come back at it. Especially
yeah,
like
I'm usually
there'll be
not
like
that. I'm usually not that calm. I usually have to shut the door so I don't scare the family and the cats and the dogs in the neighborhood. Start cursing at it until I finally get it, and then then I calm back down, and then
so the
and then I
80-40
then,
in.
then, then I put it all back together, and then I'll shoot it.
The 80-40 in is my arch nemesis. At least once every 5 battery changes, I get a screw that I cannot get in. So it's just like I don't know if it's the angle I'm at that certain moment or what it is, but I'll fight that screw sometimes for 10-15 minutes, and I'm shooting the whole video the whole time.
Oh,
And then
oh, it's because the one with like the paddle cover.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah, and
and then it's got
it's
the
almost like
little
spring loaded.
alignment. Yeah. Oh
hmm
yeah.
Oh
I,
yeah. So those get me at least once, maybe every 5-10 watches or battery changes. Um, yeah, I've got to go out, and I smoke, so I'll go out and have a cigarette and do a little oost, and then come
yeah.
back in and start over and try it again. But yeah, it gets
Yeah.
I'm not a patient person by no means. So for
Oh,
me to be working on watches is something that everybody's surprised by. Like, you work on those little tiny parts, but it was out of necessity. It wasn't out of anything else but necessity. How it started, it was
yeah.
I have too many watches. I'm
Yeah.
not paying 15-20 bucks a pop to get them
Yeah.
size and battery changed, and so it was just like, let's try it out and see how it goes. And I tried it on the beater, and it worked. And here we are today. You know,
Yeah. So Vic's asking, have you ever damaged a bracelet or a battery during a change?
a battery, no. Um, I'm careful enough to not damage movement or battery, but I have damaged a bracelet. Yes. I think in the very beginning there was one that I could not get the pin out. I think it was a cotter pin, and I mean I was literally holding the watch with one hand and the needle of those pliers and just ripping on it, and I could not get it to come out. And so what I ended up doing was a bonehead move, and I put the plier against the watch and did like a twist where it was against the bracelet, and it scuffed the whole bracelet up pretty good. And you learn, live and learn. So like, I
Yeah.
mean, even now, my needle nose have tape on the end. Can you see that? Yeah, I have electrical tape on the end, so just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one, and I if I see the watch, then I'll know exactly where to look. But there's one that I was I think I was just setting the pin back, and the pin, I'd taken a pin out and was putting it all back together, and now I was just doing the final set to get it flush, and I was hammering on it, and I don't know if I looked up or something and missed, and the the pin went off, and I just slammed it into the side of the. And I mean, there's a big old gouge right by the hole, and I was just like, ah,
Yeah.
Now
That's
on
why.
batteries, I actually had a battery, and it was in like a sleeve pack of like I think it was like a 5-pack of
Mhm.
Renatas. I had a dead battery.
Something like that.
Yep, I had
Yeah.
a dead battery,
Yeah. Well,
and that threw me because I'm like, I'm putting it in, you're doing everything, and I'm like, I flip it over, and I'm like,
it's not ticking.
wait a second, and then I'm like messing with the crown. Did I do something? No, and I
Definitely
finally,
did.
about 10 minutes later, I took it all back out, and it had like a little like brown, almost like a burnt spot, like something
Like
had
shorted out.
had shorted the battery itself out, and it burned itself out.
Wow.
Put another battery in, worked like a champ. I was just like, that was the first one I'd ever. I mean, it was just, and I keep all my batteries in the freezer so that they stay fresher longer. Because
Yeah.
and then when I get ready, I'll take them out. I'll let it warm up to room temperature before I stick them in there. But yeah, I've never.
And Vic, to answer your question, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I've seen your video on that 335.
It's not fun. It's
It
not
doesn't
at
look
all.
like it. It
No,
does
it's not.
not even
It's
a
not at
little.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more work than it looks like, especially to hold on to the actual case of that little tiny movement. I mean, I'm using a cloth and needle nose, and then you get the jitters, and I mean, my 2-prong case back opener, the
Right.
smallest setting barely has enough bite to get it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, it's tiny, and once you get it open, it's a normal battery change piece of cake. But getting that to break loose, that initial break loose on that case back, that's the hard part.
Okay.
What's your most special, most precious video on that you've done on your channel so far? Oh, I'd say probably my Thanksgiving videos. I think I've done 2 of them, and I just kind of let it flow. I don't, script it. I don't write nothing down. I just kind of go from the heart, and I think those are for me kind of opening up on YouTube, which is not something that I really feel like I do very often.
Hmm.
And so definitely, I think my Thanksgiving videos are definitely like the most because Thanksgiving has a special place in my heart. Not
Right.
because of the typical Thanksgiving of what people think Thanksgiving is, but what it means to me.
Hmm.
So I definitely think that's my number one uh, most touching video for myself is those there. And I think secondly, with my parents hooking me up with watches.
Yeah.
They bought me. Actually,
Yeah. You just did one. What, month ago or so? You released it.
yeah. So I have 3. They bought me 3 so far,
Okay.
and just the fact that they're shopping for Invictus for me because they know how much I
Right.
like the watches is awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's special.
yeah, and so those are probably my second most treasured videos, just because my parents also comment. If you go to those videos and you look, I know on my dad's birthday I made a video for him, and he went over there and commented. I gave him a shout out in the video, and then my mom commented on this last one I did with the black S1 Rally, I think it is.
Okay.
She went and commented on that one, and said, "I'm glad you like your watch," or whatever she said. But it's awesome. I'm lucky enough to still have both my parents.
Right.
I'm the oldest of my family, so my
Okay.
parents are in their early 60s. So
Oh, okay.
I'm 40. I just turned 40 last year in November. So I'm the oldest, so that my parents are still healthy and got a long ways to go. So I'm fortunate on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
500 miles away, but I treasure every moment I get with them for sure.
Oh, really? So I know you're in. Let me get. Is it Scottsdale?
No, I'm in Glendale.
Glendale. Had
So
to
I
have
mean,
it.
it's Glendale, Phoenix, Peoria. It's all
Okay.
basically Phoenix. It's all the same. It's just
Now, are they in Arizona, or are they like California, or I
they're
mean,
California. So I was
okay.
born and raised in Oxnard, California, which is um 45 minutes south of Santa Barbara, something like that. 35
Oh,
minutes
okay.
south.
Okay.
And that's where I was born and raised, and that's where they're all at.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out here my whole adult life. I think I moved out here when I was either late 18 or early 19 years old. I moved out here.
Okay.
And just for me, the price of living was too good to leave. I tried to go back to California for a year, and I just couldn't get out of my mom's place. And I was like, okay, I'm going back. I came back to Arizona, and it's home. I mean, this is what I know now. You know, kid, I started with my hometown, but as an
Right.
adult, I've been an Arizonan, so
Right.
I love it here. The summer sucks, but everywhere you go has AC, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, Atlanta. I mean, we don't get, that level temperatures as much. Um, and I know you're a bit drier in general
Yeah.
than that, but yeah. Um, yeah, we've been in Atlanta now 22 years, something like that. Huh? 25 years. That was close. And how long I've been married, that's what counts.
Yeah, definitely. Get yourself in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Seeing that she's right on the other side of the table here,
Uh-huh.
keep a track of everything for me. So, yeah. Um,
Hey, man,
but huh?
my last life, somebody asked if I was drinking a beer. So,
No, I could tell it wasn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
not a
say
beer.
it looked like Monster, but I was like, I'm not a big Monster drinker, so I couldn't pick it out of the lineup. But
I'm not a coffee drinker. Like, I'll have a coffee from Starbucks or something, but like for daily, make myself a cup of coffee in the morning. That's not me. So, Monster's my caffeine of choice for now. I need to kick them. I need to get rid of them.
yeah,
Coke Zero is my other caffeine of choice, but
that's
the
that's
Monster
my
gives me
number
the extra
one.
little boost that I need.
Huh?
I
Sorry.
said the Monster gives me the extra little boost that the Coke Zero
Oh,
can't do. So
yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you on that. So Vic is asking, are you a Coyote fan? Was that the
no,
hockey team?
no. I'm a Cardinals fan. I'm not into hockey at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vic, but yeah, I'm not. I'm not into hockey at all.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Football, and basketball. So I'm a Suns fan and I'm a Cardinals fan. But no, I've never been to a hockey team game or nothing like that. I mean,
I've,
if I was there, I'd root for them.
yeah. I've been to two, um, or one.
Good man, Coke.
Good man
I
Coke.
was I worked for Coca Cola for 8 years actually, in the early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I was a merchandiser in the stores for about 8 years. It was a great job, paid great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love that job, but it was just time to move on.
Yeah.
I had some bosses that me and him didn't see eye to eye, and it was either I hurt him or I leave, and so I left. Yeah.
Well, okay. On a related note, if you don't mind telling us, like, what do you do now, or what have you been,
So right
work
now, I
wise?
actually work for Sprouts Farmers Market.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah, we have those here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We actually have a warehouse out there now.
Okay.
So I've been there 12 years. So when I started there, we had I think about 30 stores nationwide,
Okay.
and now we have nearly 700 stores nationwide. So I mean, I'm definitely in for the long haul. I've been there for 12 years already, and
Oh yeah.
we continue to grow. Um, in a week, we start live in Colorado. We open a warehouse out there, and
Okay.
then I believe it's mid-May, Orlando. We're opening a warehouse out there.
Oh
So
wow.
where I work is the warehouse, the DC in Arizona, and it's all fresh produce.
Okay.
So we're not dealing with any of the meats or anything like that. It's all fresh produce, but we deliver out of my DC to 103 stores. So we're busy,
Oh yeah.
especially when the Rona hit. Everybody was at home, and I mean the business went a little out of control. It was job security 100%.
Yeah.
I can say that, and
Yeah.
it really hasn't stopped. I mean we've been. I'm busy constantly.
Yeah.
We haven't seen. Normally we have slow season and we have busy season. Like when summer for the kids. When summer lets out, it gets a little busier.
Right.
New Year's, of course, gets super busy because everybody eats produce because they're all on that 2 week health kick of lying to themselves. But um, this 2020 and the beginning of 2021, we've been swamped constant.
Yeah.
So job
Well, I
security,
mean, you've got, between Arizona, California, I mean, you've got so many big produce producers out
Oh yeah,
there. I
growers.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Where where I grew up, it was strawberry festivals in Oxnard, California. But it was strawberry festivals. I mean, everywhere you go, when I was a kid, there was fields everywhere. You know,
yeah,
cabbage, celery. I mean, everything you think of as far as vegetables and growing out of the ground. But now, I mean, it's everything's so overpopulated that when I go back home, it doesn't even look the same. There's
wow,
houses and new high schools and new hospitals, and it's completely different. You know, I haven't lived there in 22 years,
yeah.
and whenever I go to visit, there's always something new and less fields. But yeah, Arizona definitely has a lot of fields out here too, especially when you go down south, like Nogales, Yuma, that area.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. It was 2019, the conference. Was it Phoenix? Yeah, I went to an Avaya conference in Phoenix, and it was like I think it was like February or March,
Oh, that's
and
the best time to come.
yeah,
Yeah.
except so I'm thinking, all right, I packed like a light jacket at best, right?
Oh yeah.
It was the one week, and literally I'm watching the news, and they're like, "This is the freakiest weather we've had in 25 years. It's never been this cold," and I'm like, "Thanks." Because I flew out there and I didn't have a car because I was like, I stayed within about 4 blocks or so of the convention center. It's like, I'll just walk. Man, that morning, it was like the wind was blowing. And I'm like, okay, where's all this warm weather in Arizona? I was like, this is
You came at the
ridiculous.
wrong time. So I mean, winters in Arizona are normally like this, the end of December, January, February are the coldest months,
Yeah,
and I mean we don't get cold like most places do. I mean, I'm talking
right.
like 35, 40 degrees is freezing for us, but
Yeah.
um, those are the best months to me. I enjoy the cold, not snow cold, not negative 20. I don't enjoy that, but 30, 40 degrees, I enjoy it. I'll still roll my windows down on the way to work. I go into work at 3 in the morning, and I'll roll the windows down and enjoy the cool. But
Right.
those are definitely the time. If you're going to visit Arizona for the first time, that's the time to come.
Yeah.
Because you come July or August, yeah, it's a little hot.
Yeah. We did Vegas. When we do Vegas? August. And
Miserable, hot.
we thought it'd be really fun to go to Hoover Dam. It was a
I've never
hundred.
been there actually.
It was 115, and it was
Mm.
like 5% humidity, and I've never been so miserable. And I'm an easy sweater. Like I can sweat and
Me
cool
too.
down,
I'm sweating right now.
and yeah, I got a ceiling fan going. So if I start holding up the number two, that means up the fan. Um,
Oh, okay.
but it's I mean, I was stationed in Turkey in the Air Force, and it was 120 during the day, and it was like 90% humidity. So
Oh
just
wow,
blazing hot, right?
that
But
sounds
you could
brutal.
sweat, right?
Yeah,
There's it was so dry that I couldn't sweat, and it was just it threw me. I mean, everybody said it takes a while to get used to dry heat, and if you're not, like the South, there's no such thing as dry heat. I
yeah,
mean, no. I think the lowest humidity we ever get around here is maybe 50% at best, right?
yeah.
Oh,
I don't
there's
think you ever
always
get
one.
used to it though.
There's always one. Take all the damn pictures you want and ask any damn questions you want. Swear to God, the tour guide actually said that to us
Oh,
when
of
we
course, you got to
went
do it.
down
Yeah,
inside the dam. It was so funny. So funny.
that reminds me of what is that? Is that National Lampoon's one of the vacations for
Yeah,
Chevy
Vegas
Chase?
vacation.
It's Vegas vacation. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Nightwing's like my iPad shut down because of the heat in Vegas. Yeah, no
Wow.
doubt, man. Vegas is just yeah, yeah. We're yeah. If we do Vegas again, it's definitely we're blocking out from about I don't know early June to like I don't know mid October. Like those are X'd
Definitely.
out. Like I'm not even gonna like don't even tell me how much it costs because I don't want to be there.
Yeah, Halloween for Phoenix, Halloween's hit or miss, whether it's going to be over 100 or not. Um, yeah, and wearing a costume as a kid over 100 is not fun. But
Well,
yeah,
see, yeah,
normally
go ahead.
beginning
Sorry.
of November it cools down.
Yeah, and that's a fun. So I remember growing up as a kid. And I lived, in North Carolina, and well, I'll go with Georgia because we've been here the longest. Is Georgia weather at Halloween? You can either wear your costumes like 65, 70 degrees, or your costume may be under or over the top of this huge parka because it's like 34 degrees out and rain. I mean, it's just like it goes. You never
Either
know. I
way.
mean, you literally never know. I mean, it's crazy some of the weather we get right, and it's always right around that time, like right around Halloween. It just starts fluctuating all over the place, and it's funny.
So what's Trap's double duty? What is he doing?
He's probably watching this and editing, if I was to guess. Oh,
Oh, okay.
listening in and 757 Expo meeting. Oh yeah,
Nice.
so Invicta 757 is April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're doing like a collector expo, and then the second night is game night, and then the third night is something else. And I was just getting ready to go over there and sign up to do it, and I've got a vendor-driven maintenance both nights that go from 10 at night until 6 in the morning.
Oh wow. So are
And
you actually a phone guy? Is that why you're John the phone guy?
so, yeah. So here,
Okay.
I'll give you the rundown of where all that came from. So I've been doing telecom for 20 plus years now. Started out like in, literally pulling cable and everything. And then finally, got the, I was programmer and admin and all that stuff. And worked at some, fairly large size companies. And I'd be walking around and people would say, "Oh, what's going on?" Or I'd be going like, because I walk in like executive suites and everything, looking at stuff. Can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm John,
The
the
phone guy.
enterprise telecommunication engineer. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm the guy to fix the phone. Oh, okay. Well, come on in. And then I kept and so every time I would, rattle off whatever the title of the day that they'd given me was, right? Something, something engineer, something. And everybody would look at me like, what? So then I'd say, hey, I'm John, the phone guy. Oh, hey, come on in.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah.
so I literally got to the point that every time I would meet somebody in a work environment, that's what I always would say. And then it just kind of stuck. And then when I was creating my channel and YouTube and all that stuff, I was like, how can I make it something that everyone will remember? And I was like, well, I'll just call myself John the Phone Guy because that's what everybody that I work with knows me as. I mean, I introduce myself. My boss doesn't like it at times. So he's like, you should use your formal title. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody cares about that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'll be in a big, meeting and, we're meeting with vendors and everything. And all right, everyone, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves and blah, blah, blah. And they're going around and I'm like, hey, I'm John the phone guy. And he looks at me like, but as soon as I say it in a work environment, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just like, it was
No,
just
yeah.
the
Makes
easiest
perfect
thing.
sense.
And, cause yeah, it was funny. We were on on 2020 cruise and it was funny because people were coming up to Christy and they were saying, why does he call himself the phone guy? Like, and they're all asking him instead of asking me because they go, why does he go by the phone guy? And I'm like, and so she'd have to tell it again. So yeah, there's been a couple times that I've kind of, went through the story, but yeah, that's where it came from. And
Nice.
it's kind of just, it's just kind of stuck. I mean, eventually, you know, I'm old as dirt and I'll eventually retire and I won't be, but I'll probably still keep that name because
You
that's what
got to keep
everyone
it
knows.
now. You got to
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's set in stone now. So,
Well, it's like my origin of my name was um everybody would always see my watch. Man, that's a big timepiece, or that's a big watch. And then
Yep.
when I first started YouTube, I was doing big ass watches like my group. That's what I
Okay.
called it. But then I was like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't want the cursing to be a normal thing on my channel. And you're saying, you know, every time you're saying my channel's name, and if I talk about it, you know, so I contemplated, you know, changing it up to something else, and I couldn't think of nothing. And then I was at work maybe like 2 days before I changed the name, and they were like, "Hey, big time," and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he called me big time for a whole different reason, not because of the watches. But then it just like stuck. And then so I was in my balcony shooting a video, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna do Tommy Big Time. I'm gonna change the name. And so it just rang, you know, Big Time Pieces and Tommy. It worked. But
Mm.
nobody calls me that besides myself on YouTube. It's not my nickname or anything.
Right.
Now it's gonna be, but it wasn't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you come on the cruise, it's definitely going to be Tommy
Oh
Big
yeah.
Time everywhere you go.
And that's the
I can
goal.
guarantee.
That's the goal. I want to go on the cruise. It's just logistically, I'm not going to take very many watches because I don't even know how far I am away, but it's far. And then I'm not driving because I'm a 8 hour
Yeah,
drive or less. That's it. I'm not driving. I
yeah.
don't even know how many
No,
days that would take.
Arizona. I mean, so if you figure just to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Dallas, so because I figure you probably know how close Dallas is. So Atlanta to Dallas is probably going to take about 13, 14 in a straight shot.
Yeah, and then Dallas to here is probably another 14.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
that's 28 right there.
From Atlanta down to Fort Lauderdale, it's about 9 to 10, give or take.
So that's a good 35 hours of driving. Yeah,
So
no,
you're looking at 2 days of driving.
yeah,
Um.
no way.
Oh wait,
Eight
Vic's got
hours
a
is my
question.
max. Yeah.
What do you recommend for the novice battery changer?
As far as tools,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be more, yeah. Elaborate on that one, Vic. As far as like, brand of battery or specific
yeah,
tools, because yeah, I think there's a bit of difference on that. Um,
definitely. Battery is Renata, of course.
yeah.
Um, I learned that by opening the battery, my first case pack, and the battery that was in the Invicta was Renata.
Hmm.
And so, because I didn't know what to order at first, and then I went on Amazon, looked up that number, Renata, and boom, it came up. And that's the way that whole thing started. I was like, okay, well, I'll put back in what originally came with it. Then when I got the first Renata, I saw it was a Swiss made, and I was like, oh, okay. So,
Hmm.
obviously, I stuck with it ever since. But sometimes, like, I have a few Energizers and Sonys, and you can't find certain sizes in Renata. And
Right.
so I have to go other brands, but most of the time it's all Renata. But I've
Yeah.
got them.
Yeah. I agree. I've got a few Energizer left from, yeah, back in the day when I before I had Invictus and I had like fossils or whatever, and I was changing batteries. I just like Energizer. I think I've got a couple Sonys laying around, but yeah, generally I go with Renata.
Nice.
Um, I will say from my experience, I keep a set of
Sheldon, come get me. When it's
I
time for the
have
cruise, come get me.
I have like these little, so I have different size screwdrivers, but I leave them
Mm-hmm.
like on a little magnetic pad so that they stay magnetized. So that when I'm doing the small little screws and I pick it up, it stays with it so it doesn't fall back in.
Yeah, and it's not enough magnet to actually damage the movement, but it's enough to hold that little screw.
Yeah, yeah, because if
Yeah.
I leave them off that magnet for like a couple days, then the magnetization dies in it. It's enough to,
Mm-hmm.
run it.
So
Um,
like this pick, everybody asked me if it's magnetized. It's not. But I had it with a screwdriver set that I bought it with. This is like it was like a 50-piece screwdriver set from
right.
Jegs, and it was with all those ones that had magnetic tips, and so it's a little magnetic, and it stayed, but it's not enough to hurt the movement, but it's enough to hold that little tiny screw.
Yeah,
So all I got to do is bend it, and it falls right off. So it's perfect. And
yeah,
everybody always asks me where I got that pick from. And it's just an automotive pick. It's nothing special. It's just
yeah,
all my tools are so old that I don't drop links or anything because you can't even find them on Amazon anymore.
yeah.
My tools are 6 to 8 years old, and I'll look up the brand that I have, and it doesn't even pop up.
Hmm.
I'd say 95, maybe 98% of my tools that I own for watch working is all Amazon. it was first just a thing to see if I could do it, and
Yeah.
then it became, I bought more as necessity. Like I have a press that I bought on Amazon to do snapback case backs,
Yep.
and I bought this out of sheer necessity because there was one watch that no matter how hard I pushed, I could not get that case back on. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do? I can't give him back his watch and say, sorry, I couldn't get the case back on. So I did what I do, and I bought a press.
Yeah. I had the same issue with one of Christie's watches, and I was just like, I was like bear hugging the thing. I was like standing on. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then I found a press very similar to that one. It's got two different sizes that you screw on and everything. Yeah, and did that and went, and I was like, oh, seriously? That's all it was?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, this is so easy. I'm like, I was sitting there struggling for like an hour trying to push that thing. I'm like, this is just dumb. I
It's
have
that
seen
leverage and the continuous flat press that makes it work.
It's equal pressure all the way around. It doesn't keep popping off.
Where our thumbs don't work as well as we like them to. Yeah.
I've seen Klein tools, which are more for electricians, but you have to be careful to really get super small blades. But I mean, Klein is a or look at like if you're going to look on Amazon or something, look for somebody who's selling like PC repair. If you don't, because a lot of times if you start looking at watch repair, they throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, and you get all this other stuff that you may not want or use. So a lot of times go to something that has similar sizes. So I would look at PC repair to see if they got some stuff. But I'm pretty much down to I use like you do the block and the pins. I've got 3 different sizes, so because I do a lot of Christie's watches and they're ladies, so I usually use the 7 mil pin for those. Yeah,
that's kind of my mess right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's about what mine looks like too. But I moved it out of the way so you wouldn't see it. And I use like the 8 mil if I know it's going to be a pin and collar. That way you don't bend the collar.
Yeah.
And regular 9 mil for cotter pins. But
I use 8 mil like religiously. I have my little set that I have has 7, 8, and 9, but you'll see the 7 and the 9 are still in there. Yeah, I use the 8 for everything.
Yeah, I mangled one of my older 8s because I had a one that fought me, and I just happened to have the 8 in my hand, so I mangled Jesus out of that thing. And so I kind of move them around. Just depends. Like I say,
what kind of punch do you use? Do you use the normal? I don't think I have any out right here. The normal little steel ones, or do you use the ones you can switch out the tips?
So the ones I got are I can't remember the brand, but this shaft right here screws out, and then I've got a little baggie that has the extra pins in it, and
exactly.
Yeah, I picked those up a while ago.
Because the ones that are just one piece, once you break that tip, they're trash. So
that and the ones that are one piece I find aren't as good a quality.
No, they're not. Not
in the pin itself.
Yeah, because like this one here has the little extra tips in the package itself.
Yeah.
And so that's what I stick with. I found these on Amazon.
And the barrel on it's a little bit fatter, so it's easier to hold on to, and it's got like a little bit of a texture. Whereas all the other ones are like I've got one like this. This is an old one that I just have laying around. See, it's got a little bit of knurl, but it's so tiny you can't really get your hands on it. I just keep this one for adjusting the micro adjuster. I just have it sitting there.
Or the master calendar. Right?
Yeah, I try not to use that on the master calendars. I generally will go down to the kitchen and grab a toothpick, but if I'm in a hurry, then I'll grab it. But now this is the one that I use for case backs. So it's just a single. It's just 2 pins on a barrel system. The nice thing is it'll go all the way out. I measured it one time. It's close to 70 millimeter across pin to pin.
Yeah,
So
you're never gonna ever watch that big.
no, but it I don't have to worry about going side to side, so I just kind of just spin it in and then spin it out. So I
Nice.
haven't had any problems with it, and it everything stays centered. So when you're turning, I don't have you know undue pressure on one side versus the other.
Yeah,
But
no cross threading.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, I've never tried that one. I have the 3-prong that you see in the videos and the
yeah,
2-prong. That's all I've got.
yeah. Now, didn't you have like a little ball?
Yes, I still have it. I don't have it out right now, but yes, I still have it.
Do you use that a lot or not as
The
much?
only
Or it
time I
just
use that,
depends.
I used to use it a lot more, but
Mm,
now I just use my pick and I kind of just go around the case back once I get it loose. But the ball was supposed to be a case back remover. So before I knew any better, I bought it
hmm.
thinking it was gonna be able to just use a ball and pop it off. And obviously the case backs are way too tight, so
Yeah.
that's never gonna work. But it does work when you want that traction to get it from broken loose to off. It
Hmm.
works, but
Okay. Yeah.
it's not worth it. I mean, it only cost me a couple dollars, but it's
Yeah.
more of a gimmick than anything else. I
Yeah.
used it because I didn't know any better. And if you notice my newer videos, I really never use it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like I say, you've done so many, and we all, that size quite a bit. You kind of live and learn, and that's why, somebody asked me like, what should I buy? And I'm like, well, I don't know because the kit, I've hodgepodged it from together because I like
exactly.
this
Over the
piece,
years,
and then, well, I threw those pins away because I didn't like it and bought another set of pins, and I carry those. And the screwdrivers were too small, so I threw them out and went with different ones. And so it's just a mishmash of stuff.
well, like my 5 millimeter that I get so many questions on, that was a cheap Amazon set, probably costing like $6 or something like that, and it was 5 millimeter to 10 millimeter or 1 millimeter, so 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter, so half to one, and they came with these little screws that hold the tip in, and you can interchange the tips or whatever. And I mean, like the first time I used it, the screw broke that holds the tip in. It's like there's no pressure on it. How'd that break? So mine's actually glued in. I glued it because
Oh
at
yeah,
that time I didn't have any other tools, and it was like either I fix this or I can't use it. I
right.
got some Gorilla Glue and stuck it in there, and I mean I've been using it for 5 years and it still works. And I mean you're not gonna ever apply enough pressure to that thing to
Right.
break the glue. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
works. But yeah, when people
Exactly.
ask me for my tools, I hate saying like, well, I don't have a link, but I don't. It's like you said, it's a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
There's so many different brands, and they're all mostly Amazon. I bought a couple things off Esslinger, but Esslinger is so expensive. I mean, obviously it's a way better quality, but the price is like,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
Now,
10 times
I,
what I could get the same thing on Amazon for.
yeah, I found so I actually repaired one of Anwar's uh Sabaquanoma 3. So at the
Appreciate it, Shelby.
so at on the dive class, the pin that actually held it in actually fell out, and I actually found them on Esslinger. And
Wow.
but it wasn't bad because there were like I took one of my own and measured it. And I think I bought like a set of like 8 or 10. It's like point crap. I can't remember. There's like a pinhead side, and then it's a pressed in on the other, and then you buy the different width of whatever you're working with. It was like $4 or $5, but I mean, it worked great. I mean, put that thing back together, and like I was like so focused on, okay, make sure you put it the right way so it folds over the right direction, But other
Yeah,
than that, I mean, it's been amazing, and I would probably use Esslinger for parts that are otherwise either hard to find or that you want to put a little bit more effort into having a good quality piece that you're not
agreed,
buying in bulk, right? I mean, but yeah, like
agreed,
some of the
definitely.
stuff is like tools that are, yeah, they're a bit pricey and everything, but
Well, like
yeah,
there's a hand um, press, that instead of trying to put the hand on with a smaller tool, it's like a big press, almost like that blue one I showed. But it's for putting the hands back on the watch. And
Okay.
I have one that cost me, like, I want to say like $15 on Amazon. And I saw one on there for like $400 on this thing, and I was like, holy moly! And I mean, yeah, that would never happen. Can you do a video on removing a chronograph movement to clean the cloudy crystal? I actually have one coming out. I'm not sure of the release date. I can look, but so this watch here, this excursion, I got of a buddy, and he had done a battery change on it, or had it done, like days before I got it, and there was something in the crystal. So I show the whole process of using, rubbing alcohol and getting that crystal all clean. So that's coming up in a future video. I'm not sure exactly when. I have my little handy dandy notebook right here.
Yeah,
But
the trick that I've seen, because I took one apart because I had to do something with the I had a I had a subdial hand fall off, and the trick is getting the stem out, is figuring out what hole in what position that you have to stick the little teeny pin in to get the
mhm.
pin release to come out. That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
But
so I
yeah,
mean,
after
every
that,
movement's different. And that's what definitely makes it difficult.
yeah,
And the right amount of pressure, because people want to push too hard. You push too hard, you're gonna break something. You push too light, you're not gonna get nothing. But
hmm
I've learned that I pop, obviously unscrew the crown, and I pop it out to the first position, so like to set the date, and then I put the pressure on it, and then it pops right out.
yeah,
And I put light pressure on it, light
yeah.
pressure. Yeah,
Yeah, like yeah, that's one of those things that if you're in a bad mood or something, you don't need to do
don't
it.
do it.
Like,
Yeah,
you need to, like you say,
don't
go
do it.
out, smoke a cigarette, shot of tequila, whatever it is, calm yourself down and be very deliberate. And, it's one of these things that as you're pressing, like the least amount that it takes to get it out, that's as far as you want to go. After that, yeah, you're gonna bust something. But
Hmm.
yeah, those are not a lot of fun.
But yeah, so I just did that one. I mean, I'm talking like maybe a week or two ago. So it's definitely in the queue. That one's coming, and I do a couple videos on it because I received it with no keepers as well. So that was
Oh
like, what?
wow.
Yeah, there's no keepers. You know what I mean? I didn't notice. So I cleaned the crystal. I uh, put it all back together and was gonna wear it that day. And I had my red sneakers out already to match with it, and had the whole outfit going. And I don't own very many all red watches. This one has a red strap, which I don't do red strap or straps very often.
hmm
So I was excited to wear it, and then I go to put it on, and I realize there's no keepers, and the straps, sticking out, dangling. And I was like, oh man! So I ended up taking a keeper off of another watch and sticking it on real quick, and still left the house with it. But it was a gray keeper. But now
hmm
I've got a red. It doesn't match, but it works. I got a red on
hmm
there now. But something's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's one of those things where find an opposing color and just say, "Oh no, that's meant to be like that."
Yeah, and that's how the gray kind of played because the case is,
Yeah.
stainless steel. The gray kind of played like that.
Yeah. Well,
Those things, though, that's one thing about getting used watches that you got to be careful with is,
yeah.
I wouldn't say I was wrongly told about the watch because I'm sure he got it from somebody else. But, getting the watch and finding debris in the crystal right when I get it was kind of upsetting, because you got to tear the watch apart. And then when I put it on and there's no keeper, I was like, damn, what'd you hook me up with?
Yeah.
They do the video on removing a chronograph movement to clean a cloudy crystal.
Yeah.
Oh, I already read that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same one.
And I'll do another one because I have this Grand Octane also for sale. And the crystal is cloudy. I mean, if you look at the dial, it doesn't look clear at all.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll do a video on that one too because I have to change the battery. So the story behind this watch is I have a buddy named Jason at work, and he's probably 5'10", but dude's got like a 10-inch wrist. I mean, he's just like a big football lineman, big boy, not
Yeah.
tall but big.
Yeah.
And I had to put two Grand Octane bracelets together to make it fit him. So that'll tell you how big he is. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, I think it's like 5 links more than I wear, something like that. So it's got to be like a 9.5 maybe inch wrist. It's a big wrist. And
Whew.
so anyway, he wanted one of my Grand Octanes a long time ago. So I sold him one that I regretted selling him. So then I ended up trading him back for it just recently. And this is the one that I got. I gave it back to him now, and this is one that he had for me. But he's had it for like 4 years, and it sat in a case open, and it oxidized, and the crystal's dirty. So I'm gonna let it go for super cheap once I clean it up. But I mean, it needs some work, some love. It's just he never wore it. It's just sitting idle, and obviously that's like my wrist size, so it wouldn't have fit him anyways. But
Yeah.
the one he has now fits him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one last thing. Are you what's your feelings on silicon when you go back on?
I mean, as
Do
far as
you
like greasing the
generally,
gasket,
yeah, re silicon in the gasket?
that's funny you asked that one because I hear that a lot. So
Well,
I
and
have
that's
it.
why I'm asking it because I've heard it a lot on mine too. So I
Yeah,
was
so I have the grease, but I think my main problem with not doing it is because I don't want to be all greasy. So I have the one that you take the cap, you put it in there. It's got 2 sponges, and you kind of, and then you put it back in.
okay.
I judge it by the O-ring itself. So if the O-ring looks like it's no good, I'll buy a new one. If the O-ring looks like it needs to be lubed, then I'll lube it. But I mean, most of the watches we're dealing with are a year or less old, and I don't believe they need to be lubed. Now I know I'm probably gonna get hit for that because a lot of people say every time you open it you should lube it, but I don't,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
haven't had one issue yet.
Yeah,
So
I'm kind of the same way. I've lubed and I've not lubed, and I've had people when I did a video and I got a comment, you didn't lube it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, okay,
no, I
I
get the
know.
same thing.
You
Yeah,
know, I'm not diving Davy Jones's locker. Tomorrow. I think I'm all right. I barely get the thing wet. If I'll take it off before I wash my hands generally, even though it's 50 atmosphere watch, but you know,
I'm the same way. Like I'll
yeah,
never dive with one of my watches. I don't have a need to. There's no reason for me to have it on my wrist when I dive, so I would never have it. I mean, I don't
yeah.
dive very often anyway, so
Well, I mean, and I got certified to dive, and I get the allure of it. But nowadays, with modern dive timers that are on your BC and part of your octopus and everything, I mean, it's calculating everything for you, and it as soon as you get down to your hover depth and everything, it calibrates out based on pressure and all this stuff, and it figures it all out for you. So I mean, there's so much more dive computering that goes on now that I mean, it's like an iWatch. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a watch, because you got Fitbits and everything else, but I mean, I think we wear watches for a whole different reason than just the
exactly.
pure functionality of being able to tell time. So from that
So
point,
before we go, I got one quick story that happened today.
yeah, yeah,
So I get out of work. I'm walking out as the next shift's walking in because I'm first shift and there's second shift. We have 2 shifts, 10-hour shifts, and I mean normally we overlap by a little bit. But as I'm walking to my truck, one of the guys sees me and says, "What's up, big time?" And he doesn't know me like that, you know. And I look at him and I go, "What do you know about that?" And he goes, "Oh, I saw one of your videos on YouTube recently." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So he goes over to me and says, "What's up?" And we do the little dab, and then he sees the watch that I was wearing. And I was wearing this, which I mean, if it doesn't catch your eye, then you're blind. You know what I mean? So he sees this Sobaka specialty, and he's like, "Wow, let me see that." So normally I don't have my watch out unless you're a collector, but I let him hold it, and he was amazed. He saw the roll back, and if you don't know watches, you feel the weight, the size, and it's like, oh. He was just
yeah,
blown away. I mean, I wish I could have recorded his action and put it on YouTube because
yeah,
the way he reacted to it, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna subscribe now." I didn't realize what it's cool, but those are the that I enjoy. That's somebody that's not even into watch. It catches their eye, and that's one of the reasons why I love the watches too. Is
yeah.
conversation starter.
Oh,
It,
yeah,
it
hundred
brings
percent,
people that
100%.
normally wouldn't connect to connect. Mm.
Yep.
It's another thing like sneakers too. I'm big into because of my daughter's principal that's my custom Tommy Big Time sneakers. I saw that video,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
her principal was walking while I was standing there to pick her up. Hey, nice shoes. The principal noticed them. That's pretty cool. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's cool. But yeah, I know it's getting late, and I usually try and keep these to 2 hours, because everybody's
Definitely.
got other things to do. But super, super thanks for coming on, man. Really
No, I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you. It was awesome.
A lot of fun. I'm a lot of great questions tonight and everything. So appreciate everyone participating and everything. And but with that, I'll bid everyone a good night. We'll see everybody Sunday for, I believe it's Kenny is
Awesome.
no, wait. Yeah, Kenny. Sorry, I have to look at my calendar. So it's Kenny on Sunday. So that'll be another fun one. But I really appreciate it, Tommy, taking the time
Thank
and
you.
showing us your collection, man. So with that, we will sign off and see everyone a little later.
Have a
Have a
good
good one.
one.
You too.